Hello, and welcome back to another episode 39 of How to Do Stuff with Mr. Stevenson. Today we're sticking with some fraction skills, some very important fraction skills, and this one today happens to be, and it's relatively simple. I think you'll catch on. I hope that you enjoyed the substitute teacher I had for the last video. He seemed like he'd been a lot of places, so and seemed like he knew his math. Hopefully you learned a little bit. In this particular episode, we are going to be focusing on simplifying fractions. What does simplifying fractions really mean? Well, it's pretty simple. Here it is. We are going to be taking fractions and breaking them down into their simplest form. Okay, so right now I just basically have it broken down into this side and this side. So that's, you see the white stuff would be the pizza that's absent. Would be a half a pizza. Okay, simple. If we move over here, I still have half a pizza, but this time I have it broken into 4 slices, see? As you can see, these two are already gone. So now out of the 4 slices, there are 2 there. But as you can see, 2/4 is the exact same thing as a half. And then over here, I have it broke down even further into, if you count them up, there are 8 slices. And this half is gone. Okay, so we have, how many do you count there? You count 4 out of how many? 8. So these are all the exact same amount. You can write fractions in the number 1/2 in an infinite number of ways. I can do 8/16, I can do 5/10, I could do 32/64, I could do 51/100, whatever you want for the fraction. We want to take fractions like, say, 12/15 and make it and simplify it, meaning rewrite it down into its simplest form. Okay. So what would that simplest form be? Well, to do this problem, we're going to have to know a term. This term, greatest common factor. Okay, what is a greatest common factor? Well, a greatest common factor would be the biggest number that you can divide both of those that they have in common. You have to divide them both by the same thing. And a way to find that is to write down all the numbers that make, all the factors that make that number. A factor is just 2 numbers you multiply together to get a product. So what numbers can I multiply together to get the product of 8? Meaning, what times what makes 8? Well, 1 times 8 makes 8, and 2 times 4 makes 8. Anything else? Probably not. So there are 4 factors for the number 8. 36, on the other hand, has quite a few factors. Well, I can go 1 times 36 for sure. I can do 2 times 18. I can even do 3 times 12, and I can do 4 times 9, and then I can do 6 times 6. So there's a whole pile of factors for 36. So what's the biggest number that the biggest factor they both have in common? Well, if you look here, they both have 1s. Okay, there's 1 in common. They both have 2s, and they both have 4s. So the biggest one they have in common then is 4. That's the greatest common factor. See? So we'll write greatest common factor equals 4. Now, what if I did the same thing for 12 and 15? Let's do that. Let's try it out. Let's go 12, 15. 12, I get 1 times 12. 2 times 6. Anything else? Yeah. 3 times 4. 15. I get 1 times 15. 3 times 5. Anything else? No. What's the biggest number you see up there that they have in common? Their biggest factor? You saw 3. There it is. It's the biggest number that you can divide both of these by. So if I divide 12 by 3 and 15 by 3, I'm going to get a simplified version of 12/15. And 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So the simplified number
is 4/5.
Okay. So there's one. Let's try another one just like that. How about 8/20ths? What can we divide 8 and 20 by? The biggest number possible to simplify it. Okay, so let's give that a shot. So we're going to go 8. There we go. Okay, we already did the factors of 8 over here, if you see. So I have 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. A lot of you probably have already seen it. The biggest factor. 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 4 times 5. Do you see the biggest number they have in common? I think you do. They have a 1 in common, they have a 2 in common, and they have a 4 in common. And the biggest one of all of them is, of course, 4. So, we're going to divide these both by 4 right here. And we get what? 8 divided by 4 is 2. And 20 divided by 4 is 5. So I get the simplified fraction of 2/5. That's it. That's simplifying fractions. Pretty simple. Yeah. As usual, if you have questions, you know where to find me.